Hey guys, I'm Jay, and today we're looking at a traditional folder that has good action. Yep. All of the specs that you are currently looking at are measurements that I had personally taken myself, so those of you interested, pause and read. And this is the AG Russell Lockback Folding Hunter. I know, it's a mouthful. We'll get into what I like about this, what I don't like, and some of the potential deal breakers. First, size comparisons. Let's kick things off with the cold steel American Lawman, the Benchmade Griptilian, another Benchmade, the 940, Spyderco Endura 4. How about another Spyderco, of course, the Paramilitary 2, the Buck 110. And let's finish up this section with a knife that's actually a little closer in size, the Buck Ranger 112. Now, I decided to go ahead and do this video with this knife because, unfortunately, on October 12th, AG Russell had just passed away. So why not? Let's honor him with a review of one of his knives. The AG Russell Lockback in Jigged Bone. Starting with the blade, you are looking at 3.5 inches of a drop point blade with 8CR13 MOV steel. It does have a full flat grind and a very nice satin finish with a blade thickness of 3.35 millimeters and a width, so from the spine of the blade to the sharpened edge, just under an inch at 0.98. The sharpening choil, very well executed. Now this blade it's actually riding on bronze washers, and deployment is accomplished with the nail nick, and I added the quick thumb stud, which did not fit because of the thickness of the blade, so I did have to like take my Dremel and widen this out, but I got it to work and I'm glad that I did. Now the action here is excellent, especially for a lockback. Watch. See that? Very, very flickable. I'm telling you, this is probably the first backlock that is actually fun to fidget. Very flickable. This knife can be completely operated just one-handed. And part of that is going to be because, well, the pull weight is very, very light. Listen. Yeah, the blade comes out just a little bit when I shake it. I'm not able to completely shake it out. Maybe I could. I just don't want to hit the camera though. But yeah, the pull weight, very, very light. And unfortunately, this does not drop shut, kind of like with your cold steel knives, like the American Lawman here, you know, boop, press on the back lock, drops. No, doesn't do it here, but that's okay. Action is still very, very good. Now the lock here, back lock, is very easy to operate. Let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, so if I fully depress, you can see, of course, that's going to unlock it. But you don't have to push this down very far to disengage that blade. See that? And then if I press down, there's like even more room. That's completely pressed. So yeah, it doesn't take much pressure to unlock that blade. And once it is in that open position, let me check it. Oh yeah, that's rock solid, man. There is like no play in any direction. Now if we quickly go ahead and check the centering, so on the AG Russell is on the right and on the left is the Buck 110. Check out that blade centering. Look at that, okay, and look at it on the Buck. I mean, this is what I expect. I was shocked to find that just about perfectly centered. Now if we move on down to the handle, which is made out of, it's jigged bone with stainless steel bolsters and cap, and the liners are stainless steel as well. If you notice, I can fit all of my fingers, and I have a medium-sized hand on this 4.25 inch handle. Now there is a little bit of sharpness going on here in the channel, like on the inside corners. Yeah, that might need to be, some of you might consider that a little bit sharp. The traction is pretty good. I mean, considering, you know, this type of material, but it sure doesn't feel like it's gonna slip out of my hand. The fit and finish is just excellent. I mean, there are no gaps. Okay, there's a little bit there. Where else? I think that's about it. That looks pretty good. Now the bolsters, look at that fit. Both sides, check the cap. And then that, they call it a federal shield. Very nice and tight. Obviously there's not going to be a pocket clip on this, but they do give you a nice lanyard hole. So those of you lanyard guys, you could go ahead and attach one and then just drop it into your pocket. Now, it does not come with a sheath, but I actually have a solution for that I will reveal towards the end of the video. The closed width, so at the widest point, it is under a 1/2 inch at 0.33, and the handle thickness, now that is over the 1/2 inch threshold at 0.58. Now if we check the weight, you can see 5.26 ounces, which is going to be, let's see, in grams, that's going to be 149.2. Let's see if that, how many AA batteries that equates to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the same as about 6 AA batteries. And you know what? Now I'm curious just to see how much the Buck 112. 6.13 ounces. Hey guys, if you like what I'm doing here on the channel, do me a favor. Click on that subscribe button, and if you enjoyed this video, how about a thumbs up? Thanks guys. Unfortunately, we do have to talk about some of the potential deal breakers, and starting with the first one has to be the steel. And I realize, I mean, 8CR 13 MOV blade steel is not very exciting, and a lot of you don't like it, and I get that. Availability of this knife, you can only purchase it either through AG Russell's catalog or on their website. Only places that you will find this knife. No sheath is included, so they do not include any kind of a carry option. And for $55, you know, that's for 8CR and no sheath. Now, if you're not crazy with this version, that's okay, because there are 2 others. You can get this with the yellow Delrin covers or in India Stag. So now those of you wondering, okay Jay, what the heck, what's the sheath solution that you've been talking about, well, it's right here. And now keep in mind, this is just a prototype. I just took some fabric and created a little sleeve and just a standard metal clip that I got off of Amazon. I will include all of the necessary links. So now this knife just kind of fits like so. And let me show you on a pair of my britches here how this goes in. Now I realize I'm not trying to say that I invented this sleeve with the clip on it, because no, I sure as heck did not. But I made one for myself. So now, if you guys can see that. So now this just rides in my pocket just like any other, modern day folder. Now I did buy I actually picked up some leather material. So the actual version of this is going to be made out of leather. No break-in period with this knife. No oil was needed. So that means there's going to be no like black stuff oozing through the cracks that has to constantly be wiped off for the next week, because the inside is clean. Look at that. Now, do you see that pin inside here? They call that it's a striker pin. And I guess what that does is that allows for the use and implementation of the widest possible blade that will fit into this handle, because when you close it, you can close it as hard as you want and you are not going to damage the edge because of that striker pin. It prevents that from happening. I don't blame you for thinking $55 is too much for a knife made in China, 8CR steel, and no sheath. But I do highly recommend at least try it out, because this is just I'll say it again, a very well-made knife.